Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 29th. We're just going to jump right in here. You have this card that says, in times of need, help will come. You're strong enough to face it all. You also have this card that says, worth waiting for. All good things take time. Analyze, learn, and prepare first. I mean, I would say that we are in a time of analysis for sure. I always talk about experimentation right now. I would say for the next, 20 years, I would be doing anything you can to experiment, to try new things, to, do things differently in your life, and to not keep doing the things the same way, especially if something in your life doesn't work, the universe is really trying to get us to break patterns or repeat stories. I really feel the universe is trying to get us to change our story as well. So again, if there's something, we all have, something that we tell ourselves about ourselves, and I think all that is kind of like coming up here as well. This right here kind of looks like a golden egg. And, I do feel that, especially you, because Pluto is going to be in your sign next year officially, and it's going to be there for like 20 years. I would say, especially for you, there could be something like inside of you that's very, very special, but you have to kind of like put the work in to make it happen. So, we are in a time where, I think I said it to you in your last reading, right? Squeaky wheel gets the grease. It's like, if you're not doing anything to create, a positive environment for some sort of talent, gift, skill, or ability you have, or, some sort of hidden gift, skill, or ability that you have, if you're not creating a positive environment for that, then it's not going to grow. And I know that sounds obvious, but, that's like the time we're in. And the time we're in, and even if you look at the astrology, again, I like to look at everything that's going on and be like, oh, all this adds up to, this, right? And so we have all this energy in Taurus. I've been talking about Uranus and Taurus for like 2 years now. Uranus and Taurus is like freedom, and it's also kind of about having, building, leaving a legacy, but also about having like a garden. That's how I look at it. It's like you have something inside of you that could be very special, but I feel like you have to put the work in. You have the Emperor as your first card, and I feel like it's saying if you nurture something into existence, it's going to be, very, very successful. It's like pretty much everyone gets a message like this now. I believe because Jupiter has gone into Taurus with Uranus there already, but I think out of all the signs, you have the best potential to create something that kind of is very successful in your life, or you could really be leaving your mark on the world, and that's exactly what I would be doing here. If you want love, by the way, you could be dealing or have a fire sign coming in for you. You have fire and earth really stand out to me, but it could be any sign. Take it how it resonates, and clearly could be an Aries. You have the King of Wands and the Emperor, which are both Aries. It could be a Capricorn specifically, or a Taurus if you're looking for love, like I said. I would be careful of any toxic energies as well. It's like, I feel like saying you've experienced this before, because we go Devil to the Wheel of Fortune. If you're attracting new love into your life, especially if you want new love, obviously if you don't, then this message isn't for you. But if you do, then what I would say is I feel like you need to make sure that you don't repeat a cycle. It's almost like there could be a person that either, I kind of feel like saying has come in already, and I think, I think you're having those feelings where, and I think you need to look at your own actions. I'm not calling you out here as always, right? At all. But it's almost like, it's like, I wish I had a good example here, but it's almost like you ever like deal with a person, it's like you don't really want to talk to them, but you're kind of like, okay, I'll kind of give this person a chance. I feel like what is happening is that it's almost like the universe is, creating little speed bumps or something that it's like almost like your body is trying to warn you against something. So again, I feel like you need to look at yourself, not even this person, because your body could be telling you like, hey, something isn't right here. Something is wrong about the situation. That's why you don't even want to talk to them. Or that's why you don't even want to go out with them. That's why you have to like force yourself to hang out with them. So again, I feel like this is saying like, I don't think it's saying like, don't settle, but I feel like it's saying this isn't right and there's something coming in for you. The reason you might still have them in your energies because maybe you don't want to be alone. So, if that story is for you, I would definitely be careful of this person, because it could be toxic. Or I really feel with the Wheel of Fortune there, it's like a repeat cycle. It's like this reading is saying you've already experienced this before. Don't like repeat it. With the Emperor, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it to, work on the things that you've been working on? I feel like this whole row here is saying that you can have more balance going this way, Wheel of Fortune to the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is like work hard, play hard, but I do feel it's talking about, the opportunity for you to create more balance or, more equal kind of balance between the things that you're doing. It's almost like something I kind of get this energy for those of you that work. Even if you're retired, there could be something, I suppose, but it's almost like something kind of consumes your day. It's almost as if it's almost like there's no kind of separation between, like when you get home, or if you have a business, maybe you're just always working on it because you work from home, and it's like there's no separation. Kind of a weird message, but I feel it's very important that you create some separation, maybe just to get out of your head in general. With the King of Wands, you have the Queen of Cups here. Definitely could be a fire sign coming in for you. Again, this person is not toxic. And the other thing is like I said, if you could be dealing with a fire sign where you don't really want to deal with them. I think if you look at your actions, and if you look at your emotions and things like that, you will feel out of character. It's like, I think your body is trying to make you feel something, or whatever, that something isn't right. So I'd say there's like a new person that you do feel right about, that you do want to be around, and I feel like that person could be coming in. With the Devil, you have the Nine of Swords. Yes, do not do this. Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. So again, I feel like you need to avoid some sort of repeat mistake, but it's like a new person, or a person that you've recently started talking to. And again, I feel like your body will, there will be things, I think it's all about you, is what I'm trying to get at. It's like maybe this person doesn't necessarily give you red flags right away, but your body does, or your feelings do. It's like something isn't right. So, don't just tell yourself, oh, I'm being crazy, to feel this way. It's like, no, I think it's real. So, there you go. Next, you have this pathway to knowledge. It says, you are journeying into the realm of knowledge to assist your personal growth. You also have the shooting star. It says, what you've asked is coming true. Your wish is about to manifest. A lot of people have been getting these cards of, wishes manifesting at this time. Again, I like to remind people, I don't really feel these are like necessarily wishes. Like you're saying like, oh, I wish for this, and then it comes in. I feel like it's more things that you've done the work for. It's like, I think we can ask for something. I always say there's a price we have to pay to the universe to get the things we want, and then it's like you paid the price even if it's taken 20 years or something like that. So is it like a wish that's rushing in? I would say maybe not. I think it's something you've wanted, but it's just kind of something that you've also been working towards for a long time. And so, that's what I feel like is coming in for you here. I would also make a wish and work on manifestation with this energy. You have the Death card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Swords. Number one, before I forget, I would be careful. Like if you're not trying to get pregnant, this Death card is pregnant. You have the Queen of Cups twice. You have this Pregnancy and Wealth card right here, which is a good card, the Pregnancy and Wealth card. But, again, if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would definitely be careful here. The Death card is like a transformation, though. It really represents a rebirth. And I do feel like there is some sort of rebirth going on here. It looks like a rebirth in your finances. So if you've been worried about finances, this is something I would pay attention to. Like, I feel like you have the opportunity to get ahead of something. It's kind of weird how, like, I have something popping into my head. I'm going to tell you, it's like I have like a seasonal thing popping into my head where it's like maybe you make less money in the summer, right? I'm just giving you an example, but it could be something else. Maybe you make more money during the summer. I feel like this row, and also this row right here, going from the Death card down on this Five of Pentacles, I feel like it's saying you have the opportunity to get ahead of like where you were last year. Like if last year during the summer you made less money or something like that, I don't know, it's popping into my head. I feel like this is saying you have the opportunity to get ahead of this right now. So don't like just repeat the cycle. Don't just allow the same thing to happen. So it's like I see some of you could be doing things where it's like maybe you're working harder, or I don't even think working harder is the answer. I keep telling people that for the next 20 years I would be thinking smarter, not harder, because that doesn't mean you won't work hard, by the way. It just means there's probably better ways to do everything that we want to do. It's just a sign of the times. So, that's what I'll say there. But, if you're thinking about, launching a new product or something like that, all those things are popping into my head. Or maybe you're thinking about like promoting your business more, starting a YouTube channel so that you can promote your business more or something like that. I would do it, because I think it will, lead to a lot of success, obviously. You have the Wheel of Fortune here. Wheel of Fortune is a card of luck kind of turning in your favor. So I feel like there's a lot of luck coming in for you here. It's like your fortunes are turning around for you, or something like that is what I'm getting. And, I feel like there are a lot of improvements coming in for you with this energy. So I like to see that. What I would say is I feel like you have the opportunity to really take control of your destiny. Again, Wheel of Fortune is your destiny, how you see it. It's like how, it's your personal vision for your life. And normally we can be at the outside of the wheel and it's like things are just like spinning around. So again, if like, I always use the example, like if you know every summer that you make less money, then it's like, what can you do to get ahead of that? And so you're not on the outside of the wheel. There are things we can do to take control. Same thing like in love, it's like if you notice something, like you feel weird about a person, it's like instead of just like, allowing yourself to fall into the situation that you know isn't right, can you take control? When we take control with the Wheel of Fortune, we get rewarded because we're proving to the universe that we learned our lesson, or we're proving to the universe we know how to work with the energy. So, that's what I always say with the Wheel of Fortune. It's more about kind of taking control of cycles that have happened or could be repeating again. And, when we pay attention, the universe is like, oh, they listen, so here's a bunch of rewards, but you have to listen. You have to pay attention to these cycles. You have the Ace of Swords, definitely some sort of victory coming in here. Again, I feel like it's a victory over your finances. You have the King of Pentacles up here. You do have the Ten of Swords here. Ten of Swords could be like something that is dead, done, over with. It could also be a stabbed in the back situation, so I would definitely avoid that with the Devil here. But I kind of feel that some of you could be putting something to rest, like a cycle, like I said, something financial that you have experienced before. So let's see. With the Death card, you have the Temperance card. I always say, with the Temperance card, you can turn a negative into a positive. You can also turn a positive into a negative. It's a card of alchemy, and it's a card of changing your situation. So, I really feel this reading is saying like, hey, this week, not only this week, I would say for the rest of the summer, you really have the opportunity to, kind of change the cycle or take control of a cycle. Obviously, you're going to have to put the work in to do it, but it looks really good. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a victory, but it can also represent kind of like overcoming something. You have the Ace of Swords twice. Normally, that sword is kind of like above the mountains, and it kind of represents the fact that there will always be obstacles in life, but the sword is above the mountains, so you will always be able to overcome those obstacles. I really get a sense of control in this reading, but a good form of control. Boom. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Empress. Divine counterparts right here. I would definitely be careful of getting pregnant if you're not trying to get pregnant. Obviously, if you're too old, then this part of the reading isn't for you. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain that, but someone is always like, I'm 75 years old. Okay, not for you, obviously, right? But if you're not 75 years old and you can't get pregnant, then, be careful here. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have this concern card and this change card. I feel like you're concerned that things won't change, is what I would say. Sometimes, especially if we've been repeating a cycle, I feel that we look at that cycle and we say, well, this is my story, this is who I am, and there's nothing I can do. And I feel like this is saying no. You are capable of doing much, much more. Yeah, it's going to require work, and it might even require death as well. You have the Death card to that Ten of Swords. So, this could represent, kind of like changing something. It kind of reminds me of like, we all have those stories. Like, some of us, we try to change our routine. It's like, this year I've been sticking to my diet, thank God, right? But it's like I really told myself absolutely no cheating, no cheat days, no nothing. Because it's like my story for years has been like I do really, really well, lose weight, get fit, and then I eat like 2 M&Ms, which turns into like 900. So, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things. It's like, what changes do you have to make to change your story? For me, no junk food in the house. For me, don't even think about it, right? So it's like, it might be something different for you. But it's like, what habits do you have to change? And maybe you're concerned that you can't change those habits. But I believe in you, Aquarius. I feel like you can change whatever you need to change. You have the Queen of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. Again, the Queen of Cups says, what is your heart telling you to do? We are in a heart-based time. I mean, this is going to come up for everyone. And it has. Number 1, Uranus and Taurus. Number 2, Pluto and Aquarius. I think if you're not following your heart, you're crazy, because then you're just going to, fall in with the robots, basically, before they take over. But, what I would say here is, follow your heart, because the only thing we can do right now is, like, live off of experiences. We have to have more experiences. I keep telling people, if you're, like, worried about AI, for example, then experience is probably the best thing you can do, having an experience, because it's a unique experience that a robot can't have. So, I say that, like, in the future, especially over the next 20 years. I'm not so sure that robots are going to take over, but, maybe. And what I would say here is, if you want to future-proof yourself, then you need to follow your heart, do the things that your heart tells you to do, because it's like the universe, I think, is trying to put people in good positions, but we have to listen to what our heart is telling us. I also do feel there could be love coming in. If there is new love coming in that feels good, that feels right, there's a big difference between this and this right here, these two, then I feel like it's going to be very solid. King of Pentacles is someone who wants something permanent, who wants to be in a relationship for the long haul. You have the Ten of Swords. Could be feeling stabbed in the back, or, really I feel like you're just feeling left out of something here when we go this way right here to the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is showing up in the good stuff, but, so it's going to be good no matter what. And we're going to look into that. But what I would say is if we pretend that it's not in the good stuff, I do feel you feel left out in something. It could be in working together with someone. So again, if maybe you're thinking about a past relationship for some of you, again, I wouldn't repeat a cycle here, especially going this way. To the Wheel of Fortune. This is almost saying to me you've already, it's kind of saying to me you've already conquered something, and there's just, there's no reason to, repeat something over and over and over again. So, I would just be careful of that here, Aquarius, for sure. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yes, definitely a lot of abundance coming in for you. It's funny that I was talking about your environment, or what was I saying? I was saying something about the things that are around you or something like that. I don't remember. If I think about it, I'll spend 3 hours thinking about it. But Nine of Pentacles is about your environment. I think I said something not exactly like that, but something similar to your environment being important and kind of nurturing something into existence. I'm pretty sure. I could be making that up. I don't know. But what I would say here is Nine of Pentacles, she has those grapes behind her, and those grapes in the tarot represent something that is very difficult to grow. And the King of Pentacles normally has grapes on his cloak in the tarot. So it kind of suggests that you have some sort of skill or talent, gift, skill, or ability that could make you very successful, but it's you have to nurture it. You have to use it. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, there's something much more, it's there's something where you don't have to make any compromises coming in for you is what I feel. I think we always have to make compromises in relationships. Again, nothing is perfect, so obviously no one is perfect either. But what I would say is I feel like you could be attracting a person where it's you aren't having to compromise. It's almost, like I said, I want to stress, we always have to make compromises. But, I think that for the most part, it just works, right? With the Two of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Definitely time to trust your intuition. Again, remember what I was talking about these feelings. I don't know. I wish I had a good example to give you. I don't. But it's almost these feelings that I feel in your reading. It's I feel that your feelings are really, really guiding you. And it's not even, is it intuitive? Probably. I mean, there's probably an element of, intuition to this, but I feel things are very obviously going to have a certain feeling, about them. Or, it's when something is right, it's going to feel more than right. It's going to feel like you want to actually do it. And I think there are other things that you won't want to do. And again, it could be people that you don't want to spend time with, or you don't want to date, but you kind of do, but you kind of don't. I think those are the things you have to get away from. And it's maybe it's, society, or maybe it's expectations that are making you feel like you have to be in those situations. And I feel this is saying, don't do that. That dims your light when you enter into situations that aren't right, where that you're not supposed to be in it, even if you don't know it, right? And so, that's what I would say here. It's I don't have a good example, but I wasted a bunch of time with a person, and it's from the beginning, there were just moments where I felt weird. It's they weren't responding to me, or they would be oh, I fell asleep, or, whatever, when, disappearing for 24 hours at a time and stuff like that in a relationship. And it's I always had these feelings, right? That I was wasting my time, or that things weren't right. And, number one, I wouldn't say it's a regret, but it's one of those things in my life that I think about, because I'm man, if I just listened to myself, it's myself was right. My feelings about the situation, I could have avoided, years of, just kind of almost being stuck where I could have been dealing with someone else, or having other experiences and things like that. So, again, I'm passionate about talking about this because it's I'm a dummy. I fell on my head when I was 10 years old, I always say, but it's to me, situations, people, places, and things, they show us who they are very quickly. And it's I've had, my problem is I have to learn things 10 times. People always say, oh, you're intuitive. I'm yeah, but when you're intuitive, you can't use it on yourself. You can't use your own, you can't read for yourself, right? At least that's how I was taught to read. But also your intuition, it usually is a gift for other people. It's not for you. So it's like people always say, how do you make these mistakes? I'm like, it's pretty freaking easy because it's like it only works for other people. But what I would say is, again, I'm passionate about talking about this because it's like I make mistakes like 4 times in a row, not even 3 times. And it's like, so, I don't want people to experience what I've had to experience. So again, I always tell people, it's like, trust a situation when it tells you what it is, which usually things tell you what they are very quickly. In your last row here for the good stuff, you have the street card. It says stability and growth. You also have this peacock. It says pregnancy and wealth on it. Again, good card. I mean, if you are getting pregnant or if you're meeting a person that gets you pregnant or if you're getting someone pregnant, obviously it could be a good thing. This could also just be the birth of a new idea. So I feel there could be a lot of success there. You have the King of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, and the Five of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is something permanent, like a permanent change in your life. And, that's kind of what I feel here. If this is love, I do feel it could be like a permanent connection that's coming in for you as well. And you have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is moving on to calmer shores. I feel like there are a lot of improvements coming in for you here with this energy. So, I feel like you're like moving on to calmer shores, heading towards bigger and better things. I really like this. I feel like there's good stuff coming in for you here with the Six of Swords because it's like you're leaving something behind. You see how he's kind of like looking back? This guy in the back of the boat, he represents a guide, but I almost feel like it's you. I almost feel like it's like you're putting yourself in a position where you're guiding yourself. You're saying, you know what? I don't know what the future holds, but I'm moving away from all the things that have kind of held me back. And so I feel like a sense of empowerment, which we see Empress does represent empowerment and being empowered. So, there you go. You have the Five of Pentacles. Again, I feel like you have the opportunity to change your story financially. But again, don't repeat a mistake from the past financially either. Or again, if like, I have a very specific story. Like if last summer that your money like went down or something like that, I feel like this is saying, flip it around. You can turn this around and you can change your financial story. But I feel like you have to maybe put in some extra work or just find better ways to do things. Or maybe you're adding a product into your business or whatever the case may be, I would do it. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords here. Again, this is showing up in the good stuff. The Five of Swords to me in the good stuff could represent a risk that pays off. So, if you're taking any risks, I feel like now would be a good time. With the Six of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles, definitely improving your finances for sure. I would be experimenting. I'm literally working on, chrisrec.com, chrisrec YouTube channel, because it's going to be all about experimenting, all about crazy experiments that I do in life, just random stuff to mix it up, right? It's like, my life changed years ago because, I think it was either, I can't remember if it was Bruce Lipton or if it was Joe Dispenza that I heard talk about this, but they both say the same thing that, 95% of our lives are lived on autopilot. And it's like, I don't know, it was one of those moments where it's like, damn, it's like I do everything the same. And, since that day, I started implementing like 1% improvements, as I always say, or just like trying new things and totally changed my life. So, and it's free, which is the best part about it. It doesn't cost any money to just do something a different way or to experiment or to try something new. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. Yeah, I feel like you've been very patient. It's almost like your patience is being rewarded. So love it. This is a pretty good reading here, Aquarius. I really like where this is going. So let's see. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You have this butterfly card. It says a change for the better. You have that change card. So, clearly there's some sort of change or improvement. You have the Staff card. It says you will be taken care of in difficult times. Yes, keep pushing forward. Don't worry about, little things that pop up. I kind of have that feeling. It's like, especially if you have a story, like if you have a person that always has a problem every time you start a business or whatever, I feel like you need to, let them take care of it themselves. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. It's kind of interesting as well. If you are getting advice from people, it's like some of you could be having one of those like wake up moments where you realize that you've taken advice from the wrong people, and I would just correct it. It's like I feel like now you could be saying, I have a weird story popping into my head. Is like maybe someone gave you advice and then other people were like, oh no, that's bad advice, but it was actually good advice. And I feel like the universe is saying now you know who you can take advice from. You have the Clouds card. It says temporary problems. We are going to, again, nothing is going to be perfect for the next 20 years. I keep telling people it's like we have to, there are going to be little things that pop up, but we just have to like push through those things. There really is no good answer. You have this Weeping Willow. It says family sorrow. I would be careful of family issues, kind of like sucking you down here. I'm pretty sure almost every single sign has had something about like family issues or family concerns. And I'm not saying these things aren't important to take care of or anything like that, but just make sure it isn't, consuming your life and, make sure you're living your life. But this looks really good. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.